Black Phone is out in theaters now, and it stars Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, Ethan Hawke, Jeremy Davies, and is directed by Scott Dickerson, who worked on The Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Sinister, Doctor Strange. Was even involved in Doctor Strange 2 before he was, before he left due to creative differences. And I was really excited for this movie when I first saw the trailer. It looked incredibly creepy, great atmosphere. Ethan Hawke looked like he could, was going to pull off this character extremely well. I had really great vibes from this when I saw the trailer. And I have to say, I was incredibly impressed with this movie and Scott Dickerson's direction. Now, if you're not aware, this movie is based off of a short story that was released in 2004, and it follows Ethan Hawke's character, who is called the Grabber, who is a child kidnapper and serial killer, and his latest kidnappee is played by Mason Thames, known as Finney in this movie. And Finney has a sister, Gwen, who is played by Madeline McGraw, and I am incredibly impressed with these two child actors. I really expect to see them in future projects, and if they don't start to become maybe household names for projects, I'm going to be honestly really surprised. They were absolutely fantastic in this movie and really drive a lot of the story and elements that sometimes in a film like this might not work. And what I mean by that is this is set in a very real, believable idea and things that have happened in real life. Like I said, Ethan Hawke plays a character called the Grabber who kidnaps and kills children. That is a very real scenario. And this movie, even though it does follow that, there is a supernatural element to this movie, particularly around the title of the movie, The Black Phone. In the basement of the Grabber is a disconnected rotary black phone that can connect previous victims to Finney. And as we go throughout the movie, we get more and more bits and pieces of these kids giving Finney clues of ways that he can try and escape and help him to try and figure out how he can get out of here and how he can avoid the Grabber, because there are several scenes where it is manipulated by Ethan Hawke's character to try and get Finney to escape. And this phone is a connection to the afterlife. And in a very real setting with kids being kidnapped, introducing a supernatural element could completely derail the movie and turn off viewers. However, it is played so well, not only by the two main characters, Finney and Gwen, but the children that are talking to Finney, they all do a fantastic job. And these performances are so believable that you are not thrown off by the supernatural element in this movie. It works extremely, extremely well. The setting, 1978, a very real time when children were getting kidnapped. There's some very uneasy themes in this movie. Basically, the main theme of this movie can be a very uneasy thing for people to sit there and watch. So if you're taking this from strictly what I would call an entertainment standpoint, as maybe cruel as that sounds, thinking of kids getting abducted as entertainment, but from a movie aspect, this is just done so well to make you feel for these characters and to really have an investment in what happens in this movie. And it's not done through jump scares or gore or really anything over the top. There is a subtlety in the creepiness and the uneasiness of this movie. I think Ethan Hawke is fantastic as the Grabber. You don't get a lot of his backstory, and that is for the best. The fact that he is just in this role when the movie starts, is very well done. You don't need to know why he's doing this. He just does this. Sometimes when you want to try and humanize a character and find out what's going on, it doesn't work. The movie does not waste time with that. He is just creepy. Speaking of creepy, one thing that I really love about this movie, and I think is going to be something that is a huge hit going forward, is the mask that he uses throughout the film. There are 3 different phases of this mask, and I think during Halloween time, this is going to be a huge seller at like Spirit Halloween, Amazon, things like that. I would be absolutely shocked if this mask is not one of the best sellers during Halloween time this year, because it is incredibly creepy. It adds such a drastic element to this movie, where I do believe if this wouldn't have been used in the movie, Ethan Hawke might not have been as effective. And that's not to say that when he's without the mask or different versions of it, he's not. But this certainly adds an element to the movie that I believe was much needed. And just again, very impressed with Scott Dickerson's direction in this movie, the score, the lighting. This is an incredibly well shot movie from every single aspect of cinematography that a film fan could want. Mood, again, lighting, everything there works on such a high level. Not only that, you get sub characters who play a very important role and who do an amazing job. The grabber has a brother in this movie who is not aware of what his brother was doing and tries to help. That's a really great part of this movie. There are just so many elements of this movie that it's not truly even a horror movie. You could classify it as that, but this is more of a psychological thriller movie, again, that does not rely on gore and jump scares and being over the top. It tests the viewer to sit there and to stomach the main theme of this movie and to get through it, and takes you on this journey with Finney and with Gwen and with the police, who are trying desperately to find this latest victim of kidnapping. They all do a fantastic job in this movie. I cannot recommend this enough. Now, in order to rate this movie, what I've done is I've actually gone to what I call popcorn time. Now, with popcorn time, it's going to be based out of 1 through 5 buckets of popcorn on how I rate this. And I give The Black Phone a 5 on the popcorn time scale. It is absolutely, to me, peak horror, thriller, psychological. It does everything that you could want. It will be releasing on Peacock within 45 days of its theatrical release, so you do have the opportunity not too far from now to actually be able to watch this in the comfort of your own home. If you do not want to wait, I absolutely recommend getting out to the theater, or you can purchase this movie on demand. You can go to Google Play, you can go to Vudu, those other sites, and you can actually purchase this movie to watch it in the comfort of your own home if you do not want to wait for Peacock or you don't subscribe to it. It is definitely worth your money to go out, catch this, and enjoy what I think is really one of the best horror movies of this year. That's going to do it for this review, everybody. Thank you for joining me today, with this movie. And if you like this, you can click the subscribe button, and let's have fun and let's go to the movies.